Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to cut and sew an asymmetrical flared skirt design. I drafted the pattern for this in a previous tutorial. The link to the pattern drafting tutorial will be above and in the description box below. Hi, my name is Ayel and welcome to 011 Clothings Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! I'll be working with the following items: a pair of scissors, pins, tape measure, invisible zip, water erasable fabric pencil, some interfacing, 1.5 yards of lining fabric, 2 yards of crepe fabric, the skirt pattern pieces that I drafted in a previous tutorial. These are all the pattern pieces needed to make the asymmetrical skirt design. Both the back and the front skirt pattern pieces are both identical, so I will make use of just one out of the two pattern pieces to cut out the front and the back skirt pieces. I have pinned the pattern on the fabric, which has already been folded into 2 layers. I use half an inch seam allowance at the upper part and also at this side, 1 inch seam allowance at the hem and also at the side seams. I will now cut it out. Both the back and the front are being cut together. Recall that the front and the back patterns are identical and the fabric was folded into 2 layers. This is the side cut piece which I've already pinned to the fabric. I folded the pattern into 2 since also both the front and the back side cut pieces are identical. The side cut piece should be cut on fold if you have enough fabric. Mine will not be cut on fold because I do not have enough fabric. I used half an inch seam allowance all around the pattern except at the hem and at the side seam where I used 1 inch seam allowance. I will now cut it out. I will notch the sides so as to avoid confusion while sewing. This is the band which I have already pinned on the fabric. I will also use just one of the band pieces to cut out both the front and the back skirt bands. The fabric has been folded into 4 layers and the center back or the center front will be cut on fold. I used half an inch seam allowance all around the band pattern except for the side seam where I use 1 inch side seam allowance. I will make use of one of the basic skirt pattern that I slashed to cut out the lining of the skirt. I folded the fabric into 4 layers, so both the front and the back lining pieces will be cut together. The center front and the center back will be cut on fold. I used half an inch seam allowance at the upper part, 1 inch side seam allowance and no seam allowance at all at the hem because the lining will be shorter than the main outer fabric. These are the main skirt pieces, the front and the back, both are identical. I will now go ahead and pin the band to the upper part of the skirt pieces, right side to right side. I have already fused interfacing to the wrong sides of all the band pieces. Once I'm done pinning, I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch it in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. I will also pin the band pieces to the lining pieces as well, right side to right side. Once I'm done pinning, I will stitch it in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done. As you can see, overlock the raw edges of the seam allowances. With the right sides of the main outer fabric together, I will measure and mark 1 inch seam allowance at this side. At this other side, I will measure and mark 8 inches for the zip. From the 8-inch point, I will now measure and mark the 1 inch for the side seam allowance. I will stitch the side seam in place on the sewing machine like this. After doing this, I will now fix this invisible zip to the side of the skirt. So now that has been done, as you can see, I have sewn the side seams together and I have also fixed the invisible zip. These are the lining pieces. I will go ahead and sew just one side seam together, right side to right side, using 1 inch sewing allowance. I will leave the other side open for now. This is the side cut of the skirt. This side should have been cut on fold if I had enough fabric. With the right size of the 2 side cut pieces together, I will pin them in place like this. After pinning, I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch them in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. This is the lining, and as you can see, I've sewn the sides of the lining together, just one side, using 1 inch sewing allowance, and I have overlocked the raw edges at the end, and the other side have not been stitched together. This is the side cut piece, and as you can see, I've sewn the side seam in place, and I've also hemmed the lower sections of the side cut piece, and I've given it a thorough press with my iron. I will now go ahead and pin the side cut piece to the main skirt piece like this, right side to right side, making sure that the side seam lines match up. I have also hemmed the lower part of the main skirt piece. After pinning, I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch it in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see. This is the lining piece. I will unzip the main skirt piece like this. With the right size of the lining and the main skirt piece together, I will pin the waist lines in place like this. After pinning, I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch it in place using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see. After sewing, I notched the seam allowances. and then I understitch the seam allowances to the waistline of the lining of the skirt lining piece. I will flip over the lining piece like this, with the right sides together at the side seam. I will sew the lining in place, very close or on top of the stitching line that was used to fix the invisible zip in place, from the waist down to the hem of the lining. So now the stitching has been done, as you can see, and this is what it looks like on the wrong side. I have overlocked the raw edges. So that's it, guys, we are done, and this is the final look of the asymmetrical flared skirt. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye, and thank you so much for watching.